welcome to a special afternoon broadcasting of the Flooring Models Tuesday show. Here we are with you live on the 29th of March.
Good afternoon.
Another month almost gone. Good afternoon. It's very quiet in here. Oh look, there is people coming in now.
They're
Honestly, you fling open the doors and everyone's coming in.
Oh, that's okay then.
So that's
we're not just doing it to an audience of 3.
It really would be like a podcast then.
It would, yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, if we've got one person or 50, it makes no difference, does it?
Well, no, this is it. I mean, to us, we're all good.
Hey, we'll still talk for 2 hours.
Oh look, so Clive can't watch it, but he's going to catch up tonight. He's got meetings this afternoon. Oh,
cancel your meetings.
Yeah, throw them out.
Don't need this excuse. You've got meetings.
Yes, definitely. Anyway, trust you all had a nice weekend. The weather was beautiful here with our daily weather check. Today, not so. Cloudy.
Overcast, cloudy,
Grey.
rain.
Very, very grey.
Rubbish.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Look, the guys are all working from home. Brigade. That old chestnut.
That's it. Or not working from home anymore.
Not doing so much work from home.
Now they're distracted for a couple of hours.
Yes. So anyway, it is our very laid-back podcast type chat stroke do some work show this afternoon. We'll have a little bit of catch-up with what I've been up to, which is working, as you can see, on the Hurricane quite a lot. And obviously the Hornet is all together as well. So that's finally in one lump, which I would say for now, it's one of those which it looks like an accident waiting to happen. The gear's going to fail at some point. The wings are going to get hit. It's one of those. It needs to be in a case and left alone. So yes, look, loads of people flying in now. Day off. Oh look, days off as well. People get days off as well. Have you heard this?
I'm joining them next week, so hey, I'm all for it. Bring it on.
He's coming down here for a holiday in the sun, although apparently it's going to rain, so you'll be fine.
I know. I keep checking. It looks a bit miserable, doesn't it? To be fair.
Devon mist. You'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Bit of sea mist. Be all right. It'll be fine. We get to go to Trago, so that's
It is the highlight.
Well, I think seeing you lot will be the highlight, but second in line would be going to Trago.
Fair enough, definitely. But yes, we are obviously making our way out of March now. So I've been trying to get back to where I was. So the Hurricane, as you can see down in here, if I put my overhead on, and we're going to do all of this. I've got about 10 buttons to press to get to this when it's just us. There we go. So we got that one, and then we can go, where is it? There we go, this one. So let's move me coffee. So Hurricane is all beginning to be weathered in and everything. Started the weathering on that yesterday, going through the motions of it, and then obviously underneath is completed. So we got some nice grime and yucky stuff and everything coming off down in the radiator and things like that. So that's all coming to bits.
Needs a bit more coolant in it.
Well, I think, yeah, that's it. It leaks a bit, but apparently if you look at any pictures of a Hurricane from that ilk, they all like that. So obviously nice new ones don't do it as much. But yeah, no, it's actually really nice. Come together. Very, very nice. We're getting there very slowly but surely. Got to do a little bit of weathering, which I'll carry on this afternoon. But you see, we got the flaps in now and the guns are in. Put the guns in this morning.
Oh, right, okay.
We've got it on that side. It's all coming together very, very nicely. So
are they the kit guns then?
No. What, the guns?
Oh, the aftermarket.
These are the aftermarket ones. No, these are the master barrel. I've got the working springs in and all the rest of it.
Right. Okay.
So they need, again, they've only had a coat of buffables, dark iron, and then what I do is I'll buff them up when they're totally dry, but I only did it this morning. So we'll get them all buffed up and done. The only trouble I did have, just to talk about it, you've got a sleeve system. Actually, let me show you on here, it's probably easier. You have, go close up, you have a sleeve that goes in there, and then this bit goes in. So what I did was make up these 3 bits in one, because this spring is a working spring. But the trouble that you get is that this bit here looks a bit like a mortar, doesn't fit in the hole. I had one of the 4 fitted in, all the others didn't fit. So I had to actually sand off a little bit of diameter off of that to make them fit inside the sleeve, if you like. Which was first time with Master I've actually had that problem. But yeah, it's these bits up here, if you like, these go into here. I had one fitted no problem, and it fitted in all of them, and all the others were slightly too big. They just couldn't go in. So it was like, all right, okay, so we actually had to sand a little bit of diameter off of those just to make them fit into the hole. But no, these are nice ones, the master ones. But yes, here they are down in Hull. So
they look good though.
They need buffing up and everything though. But yeah, the kit ones, well, I think I've thrown them already. They're just a one-piece moulded horrible. But these are really nice with a working spring. So I think by the time that they come along, it'll be all right. Come on, camera, cut in. I know it's close for you, but yeah. But no, generally, I must admit, the light is at the end of the tunnel. If we weren't doing this, I should think I would have probably got this done today with it all in there. But not to worry, we'll get this thing finished off tomorrow and then be making our way on with the finish off the Hornet. So the Hornet, which don't like to bring it over here because it is a nightmare, but here she is. Dun, dun, dun. A Hornet in infinite wisdom. It's probably easier to show on that camera than it was the other one. But yeah, so we got to put the gear doors on that one. Final bit of weathering right the way through on this one. Managed to get the tailplanes in. That's not easy. Because obviously if you make the hole too big, it's just going to be a nightmare. You've just got to go slightly smaller and then literally press it in, get it all pushed in there and all the rest of it. But yeah, she's a bit grimy underneath, and obviously we've got to sort out a few things down underneath there, get the gear doors into it and everything else. But she's coming along the top side, which I'll just show on half. As you can see, it's just a sort of mottle. I've done like a wash right over it to sort of mottle it so it doesn't look too bad. But again, the underside will get very similar to what the Hurricane had down in here, because again, Hornets leak big time hydraulic-y stuff down the back end. So this is what this one will get, but the top will be left a little bit cleaner down in there. But I have to say, it's all right. Everything's gone very well. All the wing system, the flaps and slats and everything else have all fitted. Just a little bit of sanding and fettling to get those all in, and the rest of it's all happened. So yeah, it's actually been all right now. We've been making our way quite nicely with this build. It hasn't been too much of a, here we go, too much of a hassle since we've got it all together. The rest of it's been all right, really. So it's
come out well, isn't it? Really, let's be honest, from what you've for what it's thrown at you, literally.
Yes. Yes. Would I build another one? No. But
should I get one other version? It's on offer. Can get you one.
What, the Echo? Do the single seat, or they say they're releasing the Growler any minute. So you've got the bigger one coming out with the Growler. So it's got obviously the jammer pods on the wingtips and obviously the main ones on it and stuff like that. So there's a couple of other lumps and bumps that are different on the Growler to this one. But yeah, I think if I do a Growler, the next Hornet I ever do, I will do the Hobby Boss one.
Are you going to do that? Are you? Which one?
I'll probably do a Growler. I probably literally will do a G. I'll do a Growler. But that's a far more sensible scale, being 48th.
Yeah, that is big. That is a lump.
Yes, it is. Yes, they are.
It's big. It's a big one.
It is big.
Is it going to live?
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll go in the cabinet. I haven't measured it yet.
So there's retirements coming then for it to fit?
Yes. Well, yeah, the retirement, well, you say the Harrier has been retired now, has left the building and all the rest of it. So, yeah, I might remove some of the Star Wars stuff I've got in there. But even then, I'm not sure it will fit in the smaller cabinet. So I think the ship's going to have to go, the Carrier.
Why buy another cabinet?
Where would I put this cabinet? That's the trouble.
Near the door and the window.
What, in here? With all the other
other
junk?
side. Not that window, the other side.
Oh, no, it won't go in there. I've tried that before.
Have you measured it?
I've measured it. It doesn't fit. So, yes, we're a little bit stuck for room these days. So,
going to need a bigger room.
Yes. I don't think I'll get away from that. My next move, as you know, is I might move into the unit because somebody might want the lounge back after 10 years. Seems officially I'm in the lounge.
Why do you need another half?
Well, this is it. But yes, we will see. But
you've got an outside lounge.
Well, yes, that's the point. Yes.
Exactly.
We will see how that one goes.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's you never have enough space, do you? So
no, that is the trouble. Yeah, I'm into that area now of like I've retired probably about 20 just after Christmas that have now been boxed up and moved upstairs. So and I've sort of got the newer ones down here now. But yeah, if you're a prolific builder, what do you do with them all?
Yeah, put them in boxes.
Yeah.
Like, luckily, obviously, I've said before, there's loads up on the mezzanine up here, but they're going to have to be shifted soon. So I think they're going to go on top of the office out of the way. But it's a bit precarious running up and down a step ladder to get up there nowadays.
Yes.
You get a bit bit too old for running up and down step ladders and needs proper. I might get a thingy. Do you know what I might attach to it now? A loft ladder.
Yes, that'd probably be a better
You know what I mean?
idea.
And then just hook it up and hook it down when it needs to.
Yes.
When I need to go up there, because them step ladders, them wooden step ladders are a bit rickety.
Well, failing that, can't we just put a bridge from that?
I thought that
across
before the bridge off the mezzanine.
Off the mezzanine across to it.
Yeah.
Or a rope, you just swing across.
Swing rope, Tarzan rope.
Be like a jungle gym.
That's as safe as some rickety step ladders, isn't it? Yeah. No. It is a problem, isn't it, if you are a prolific builder? I know Nathan, as I say, because he's pretty prolific, and luckily he don't build massive kits, but you still got to put them somewhere. Still got to store them. So yes, it is, and it's that problem of how long do you keep them for, isn't it, before they are, don't like to say it, but landfill.
Yeah, well, let's face it.
We've
spoken about this before, but it is true. Is that model kits only have a lifespan of so long before they start to generally fall apart, because super glue deteriorates. As I say, I've spoken about it when I've done some work on other things, is that the projects came back in 10 years later and you pick bits off and it's the super glue's just turned to dust. So unless you're using weld action glues, it won't last forever. And then obviously, as we know, decal's yellow, paintwork fades, before you know it, you're into landfill.
Just like the real things then.
Yeah, that's it. And it is very true though, isn't it? If
is.
you look at aircraft, even if they're, museum pieces and that, you can see they're old and aged, as I say, it's not that factory fresh look or, it's gone through. So nothing lasts forever with these things. But as I said before, I suppose from my point of view, it's all about the build and doing it. Once it's done, we've spoken about before, actually it doesn't matter to me where it goes. But as you say, as long as I get the final reveal photos done, after that I don't mind, because I've had my enjoyment out of it. But
that's it.
It's not like to say I don't like looking at them, especially the ones hanging on the wall these days, because you can actually see them, which is nice. So
but I even think then when they're on display, they've got a lifespan before you get bored of them. Because I look in the cabinet and obviously there's stuff in there I think that's ready for moving onto a box or whatever. So there's stuff upstairs as well that's nobody ever sees apart from the spiders and whatever else crawls up there. But what I mean, you do. It's nice to keep them refreshed, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. No. Yeah. But as I say, it'll be a shame when things like the Intruder start to fall apart and behind, because there'll be two big ones that have been in there for a long time now. But the ship, for instance, as a classic example, is that it's got dust on it, and the dust is old dust which welds on. It's like concrete. And because it's covered in photo etch, how are you going to get that dust off? It's not just a case of just blast it with a bit of, off an airline or something, because that ain't going to work. It's not going to shift it. So I don't know quite how you go about it.
Yeah, I mean, there is that thing. I mean, they're on about selling them on eBay and stuff, and you can do, can't you? It's don't
forget, that's how I started, flogging them on eBay.
I could say you had the perfect thing of commissions, really, because you never kept any.
Yeah, and that was
build them and just
build them
then
and
go to whoever.
Yeah,
they were for, and you weren't stuck with them collecting dust and getting parts knocked off. So that is, and being paid to do them. So that was the ideal.
Yeah, it's a win-win on that one.
If you could build one a month and get paid, but you can't do that, obviously. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's all those people flogging on eBay now killed off that bit.
It is, I know.
So
I was one of them at one point. The trouble is like we've said, it's actually getting to somebody one piece, isn't it? That's if you put a lot of like effort. I mean, that Hornet, for instance, would never make it anywhere in one piece, would it?
No. But again, don't forget, when I did all those commissions, it was all Hornets. But what you need to do is you find yourself your client who's got an ounce of sense. So when my Hornets went, none of them went with gear or doors.
No.
So that was the whole point, because obviously that was, when we did that 256 of them, it was that thing about, right, okay, you're going to have to appreciate they're not going to get to you in one bit. So when they went out, it had no gear on them and no doors, because they would just come off. So consequently, it was like final assembly. When it gets to the client's end, then obviously he would put the gear in, the doors on, and away you go. And any pointy bits, pitos, stuff like that, because they will just not make it. So
do you know what you should do for old time's sake? Get one of your older builds and put it on eBay,
Hmm.
thinking by you, endorsed, obviously you've made this and all that, right? See how much it fetches.
I'll tell you what, I can honestly say it probably wouldn't fetch as much as they did back in the day.
Oh God, no, it's watered down.
Because everyone's watered it down now. Everyone's pro-built.
Well, yeah, there is that. I'm just wondering if you put your name behind it, it probably wouldn't hit reserve.
It probably wouldn't. That's it. It's funny because one of my models actually came up for sale about 5 years ago. And obviously I stopped doing commission work about 10 years ago. So, but on 5 years ago, it was a Phantom that I did, appeared up, and it did say pro-built by Phil Florian. I had lots of people message me saying, is that yours or is somebody just trying it on, saying you did it? And actually, yes, it is. It's one of my old ones. And apparently what had happened was the guy who had the commission for that one had passed away and his family just flogged it off. And that's where it was. And funny enough, one of the guys who I had done commission work for bought it and did say, I'll pay peanuts for that. But again, that was the thing. It's very... very diluted now, shall we say, that side of the business. Just
out of curiosity, how did you know it was yours and not a ringer and not like a counterfeit? Like they do in the art world.
This is true. We've had it before where people have said it's my model and it clearly isn't. And like we've had, recently, a couple of years ago, we had somebody flogging Sanders saying they're Floyd model Sanders and they won't. Yeah. There's counterfeit for everything these days. But again, it's one of those ones where. When you see your own work, it, like you probably do from doing cars in the real world. You could probably spot your work.
I wouldn't want to. I know what you mean. Yeah.
We all have our, especially in the hobby for this side of it, and it is that thing that even though I've built, I don't know, must get near 1,000 models now, but it is that thing where I would still recognise my work, and that's the thing. Yeah. And to be honest, from those days when it was commission ones, I know those, and I've got photos of them all. So it's very different.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like people have their own sort of spin on it, don't they? Their own style and all that. So, we were on about it last Thursday, weren't we? The Spanish style of the exaggerated shadows and highlights and that arty look, and then there's all different, isn't there? So, I'm just thinking like from obviously like say how you've evolved as a modeler from last 10 years to 15, 21 hours, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the trouble you get, and it was obviously, it is the worry. If you're going to be doing commission work and you're going to take on commissions and stuff, is obviously you've got what you're capable of doing and producing and the expectation of the client, what you're going to produce. And getting those to blur is sometimes a little bit different because obviously... Go on.
Sorry, but don't you think that's with a lot of things? We had it with doing classic cars. People's expectations and the reality of their wallet, probably. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, that does always come into it.
Or miles away.
Yeah.
I know the cost of what it costs to, and hours, and that's what it comes down to. It's not just cost of materials; it's hours that's into it. But you can say that for people restoring homes or anything like that, can't you? It's
oh yeah, there is a
like
budget.
It's got to be a happy medium. You've got to have a good relationship with your customers to them understand that there is a limit, unless there are obviously, it says right, it's an open sort of chest.
Yeah.
Go for it. I know what you mean. It's I bet it's harder now that with the internet. When you were doing it, obviously. It was the fledgling internet. There weren't the Facebook, weren't all that social media.
No such thing as YouTube. There was no such thing as
exactly. But it was a few magazines, I suppose, weren't it?
Yeah.
And things like that. So the source available for them to do research was not like it is now.
No.
So we'll say we'll just chuck names about it, but say we'll put you up against like Spencer or Jamie.
Yeah.
They're completely three different styles of modelers.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you wouldn't have known probably. Spencer obviously said his magazine was doing that, and I don't know what Jamie were doing. It's probably RAF then. Sorry, Royal Navy. RAF, you'll shoot me for that one. Royal Navy. Oh, God. I did that out. I did hear that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But say if it was now, but with no internet kind of thing, or no social media, you'd all have your different styles. But I think it'll be harder now. I think it's now impossible to get commission work, as in unless you are pretty a name.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the hobby, shall we say?
Yeah. But what I was going to say was as well is that when you're doing something like an aircraft, and if you're working on, say, like a Hornet, something like this, it is that thing at the end of the day is that there's only so many different ways you can weather and paint it, you know? So what you've got is a client who will turn around to you and say, like he didn't want them weathered in and beaten in. He wanted them to all look, because most of them were cagbirds, which is obviously, you know, the fleet flagship one, the commander's aircraft, is normally kept a little bit cleaner than the line jets and stuff like that. So that was always the way. So with that, it was always quite easy because technically it just had a wash. You know, that's all it really had. And then that was it for weathering. But then if you're into the realms where somebody wanted a little bit more, you know, type a beaten in Hornet, for instance, a line jet Hornet, and wants it heavily weathered, and they come along and say to you, here's a photo, and I want it to look like that, then you've got the expectation of the client wants it to look like that, and then what you can produce. And that's sometimes where it's a little bit more tricky, you know, because at the end of the day, you can only do so much with a model because it's not the real thing, you know. And obviously when you're working in 48 scale, which was my standard type of scale anyway back in the day, is that, you know, you've got that sort of expectation you can sort of recreate roughly, but then it comes down to what you were saying. If you wanted to spend maybe 30 hours weathering it, even if you're just charging a tenner an hour, you know.
Well, don't you think professional artists have this problem?
Well, this is it, yeah.
You know, because they have to, like a portrait painter, say, you know, they've all got their own style, haven't they?
Definitely.
You know, so surely it's whatever sort of genre, if you are dealing with the public and you're producing something for said person, you're going to have that sort of issue of expectation over reality, aren't you?
Yeah, of course you are. Absolutely.
You know.
And as I say, many a times as well, luckily for me, back in the day, there was no such thing as like Photoshop unless you had a degree in it. So your photos all looked pretty much what you had. But as I say, now people can take a photo of your model and, like, you know, Photoshop it, as we say, and it ends up looking a lot more than it is. Put a nice filter on it, and that's just on your phone, you know, to compare to actually what it is when it sits there. So you got that expectation, is that if you're flogging your model, and you're going to take the best photos of it possibly, and then it was sat in front of the person who's just bought it, you know, it is it. But again, when you know, as I say, I know one of the guys was mentioning about me doing a video on how I got started. I've done it loads of times. There's a full thing. I did it an hour from me starting to literally where we are today. And I did that about 5 years ago. But the thing is, it is that thing now. A couple of things. First of all, you know, the kits are quite expensive. Let's face it, they've probably tripled in price since when I was doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you've got the cost of that's gone right up. The cost of sundries and paints has all gone right up as well. And then, you know, you've got the cost of the postage. You know, these are all factors that are completely out of your hand as a modeler, because, you know, you've got no over it. And not being funny, if you want to get that model there to America in one piece, you're going to be spending probably a couple of £100 in shipping. Because it needs to be massively well packed and protected. It's going to have to go on a special service so it's not kicked around and all the rest of it. So that's before you've even started in an hourly rate on it. And when I was doing it, I think it was like £5 an hour's minimum wage. You know, so, you know, and as you say, if you're looking to building something like this and saying a standard 40-hour build, you know, if you weren't messing around watching YouTube and just got on with it, you know, and all the bits that get in the way. But, you know, 40, 50-hour build on something else like that, as you say, then you're looking at £5 even an hour, say £10 an hour now for minimum wage. You know, it's not viable. It doesn't stack up because nowadays everybody else is just getting for what they can.
Well, again, though, you know, talking of other sort of industries, shall we say, you know, you are trained as such. You are sort of a, you know, qualified, whatever you want to call it, professional model builder. Why should you be doing it for minimum wage? You're a skilled worker. And I used to have this argument painting the cars. You know what I mean? I went to college for how many years? You know what I mean? You can't buy experience, can you? You've got to go through the motions of getting to where you are at a, you know, at a certain level. So why then should you not pay? Somebody should not pay for that.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? You don't get a plumber come round the house and go, yeah, I'll pay £10 an hour.
No.
He'd just laugh at you and walk out. And any other tradesperson, to be fair.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's the same sort of scenario, isn't it? You're doing a service for somebody. They've asked you to build them, you know, whatever it is, to the best of your ability. Then why shouldn't you be paid for it for the amount of time it takes?
As my mate Carl, who's now a retired modeller, and all the rest of it, knows who's Brokeback Mountain bit. But the thing is, he used to say it's like porn, right? Because the internet has killed that porn off, because so much of it's free, and also from our point of view, because obviously he was commissioned as well, and he's worked for many AAA companies over the years. And the thing is that, you know, from a commission point of view, that's gone now because everyone's happy to do it for nothing. So what you've actually done then is, you know, apart from obviously people in my position, magazine people, and obviously companies that, you know, which support modelers to build them, it's killed everything else off, because the commission side of it now is literally dead on its feet. Unless you have got a special something, i.e. perhaps you do scratch building completely, or from an engineering point of view, but from a modelling point of view, there's too many people out there happy to do it for nothing. And what that did was kill off all the professional modelers.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I did it as well. It's like, well, I just flogged me built models on eBay because I need some room. And anybody could put, I never did, but anybody could put professionally built or whatever. It's easy to big yourself up in that respect, isn't it? So again, I think going even before thinking, I don't think eBay helped either.
No.
It was a good starting point, but the bigger that got, the more saturated it gets. Obviously, people jump on board, they see it, don't they?
Yeah.
And, you know, just take... like, not advantage, I suppose, but use it as, like you say, as a tool.
It's a springboard to sort of pull off. And again, I don't get me wrong, as you know, when I very first started this out, you know, as I say, I came from architectural side, which work I was doing for some friends of mine, and then into the modelling side because that was sort of my hobby, and then it came a little bit of necessity for my sanity, and then it basically was a big gamble to say, look, okay, we could do this as a bit of a business. And to be honest, at those points I was even back on benefits at that point in my life, and the government were doing this thing where technically you could work 16 hours a week and keep your benefits. And then I did it, got really lucky because I said before, it was the infancy of the internet and all the rest of it. I managed to pick up a good couple of really understanding, shall we say, clients who knew what it was. You know, they were those people who, you know, if you're a professional, you're on a professional wage, they expected to pay a professional rate, which again, everybody wants everything for nothing these days, unless you're lucky to find these people. And then, you know, the big step for me with that, and I got the commission at the time, which lasted for me for 2 years, that I was able to come off benefits and then build models. And then off of the back of that, at the same time, I was doing other commissions as well, and so forth and so on. And then obviously everything sort of just evolved and it moved around into the early 2000s. And then before you know it, we thought, well, look, everyone was asking me about how I do things. So I did a few videos. And again, it was pre-YouTube at that point. YouTube didn't come around until what, 2006, 2007? So, you know, and again, I put up some little short videos which you sort of downloaded and did off of that. And then it was a case of people wanted more and more. So then it was a case of, well, look, we need to rent some space on a server. So we had to do that, which was costing us £660. And this was back in the, I don't know, around about 2009. You know, which was costing us, and those were we was joking about the tiny little videos, you know, 320 by whatever it is. You couldn't see much, but you got the idea of it. And that's literally how Flory Models started, from that side of it. And because I got so busy doing that, I didn't have the time to do the commission work. So I cut back on the commissions, and then we had that natural, at one point, one could support over the top of the other. So, and that's what it was. And at that point I decided, well, look, you know, I can't just keep building modern US aircraft, because that's what I was really doing all the time. I wanted to do other things, and if I wanted to do that, I was going to have to not do commissions. So and we jumped from that. I did a couple of commissions for a few years for a few of my regular clients, things like that, moving forward. But again, then you had, as we said, the internet happened, exploded, eBay happened, so everyone was flogging everything on eBay, and then obviously you got Facebook, people doing videos and putting them up and so forth and so on, and before you know it, it sort of diluted everything out, so that side of the business almost died, unfortunately. But lucky, a lot of the people I know who are in that business, and I've still got friends who are in it now, is that they've diversified into other parts. So they're not actually doing building models anymore, but they perhaps do scratch building stuff for aftermarket. 3D printing side of things now is probably what a lot of them are doing, and all that side of it. So they've just evolved, like you have to, into different areas from it, because obviously just building a model now probably wouldn't be viable. In my day, when I was doing commissions in the early days, your biggest problem you were up against, if I wanted to build this as a model, or a Hurricane, say, in 30 seconds, you were up against China doing a mahogany one. So you'd have somebody say, well, I can get a mahogany one nicely painted and finished, or a cheap die-cast one for half that price, what you're quoting. That's what my competition was Chinese knockoff die-cast and mahogany models coming out of the Far East. Because they were prolific at that point, but even those seem to, I think, have died down. The mahogany type ones, the wooden painted ones and things like that now. So but I think, like everything, you just have to evolve, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, do you know what? I don't know where I heard it or I read it, but I think there's surprised that YouTube's still going.
Yeah, I've heard that.
After all this time, because normally platforms come and go, don't they? They come and die, and something else will take its place or whatever. Because obviously you've got the Discord, haven't you, and other bits. But actually, YouTube just, I don't know, it's like part of the furniture now, isn't it? I don't think eBay's is what it was at all. I think the fees
anything or put anything up on eBay. I haven't done for years.
I know from the last probably few bits I did put on eBay and whatever, the fees have just killed it. It's just not worth it. I don't know. It's because eBay used to be fun. Let's be honest. We've all done it. We've all thingied there and had a look through and it had a cheeky bid. But I don't know. It's just lost its appeal. It's kind of tried to be like Amazon, I think, hasn't it? So
Phil grew out of his dodgy jumpers, basically.
He's never grown out of his dodgy jumpers. You just don't see him on camera anymore.
Yeah, I just wear him personal at the weekends.
Yeah, exactly. Peter's figure. They have shot them. They had a really good format like 10 years ago, and they have. They've just got greedy, I think, and like you say, shot themselves in the foot. 100%. Couldn't agree more. And PayPal then want it as well, because they don't do PayPal anymore, do they? That's separate, is it? I don't know. They had a separation, shall we say? Creative differences.
Is that what they had?
I don't know, something like that. Yeah. So, like I say, it's you feel like things evolve, isn't it?
But again, like say, I know lots of people who put models up on. I know lots of our members do and stuff, and they'll put up their lovely built models and all the rest of it, and they just get as you said, the guys were saying about getting just some money back to pay for the hobby. Then fair play, as I say.
That's
what it all is, isn't it?
You can get a beer token out of on top of it, then it was happy days. But you're just making space for more to fill what you want to get rid of. You know what I mean? So,
yes, that's it. But as I say, with everything, you have to sometimes the world changes and you have to diversify or change something else. I was lucky because I never thought for a minute that flooring models would be what it is now. With the membership, and obviously it pays for me to do this because it was always just done as a bit of a giggle at the beginning, but thank God it did, otherwise I'd now be able to do something else for a living, because this commission work wouldn't float now. Maybe I might be able to scrape it through with my old clients and stuff, but again, not being funny, the key word is old, and you won't mind me saying that, but one of my clients who I speak to quite regularly, they're dying off, so who's going to do it back in the day?
Yeah. Sorry, going back to eBay, that was it. You have to wait for your money now, it's not instant.
Oh, isn't it? Don't you get it instant?
No, they hold on to your money.
Oh.
Until what is it? Is it until it's actually arrived or you've posted it or something? Which is like, because then basically who you are selling to can go, well, it's not turned up.
Oh,
even if it has, you don't take much to get a dishonest sort of person, does it?
No.
And say, oh, it's not turned up. And then they'll obviously side with them, so you've lost whatever you've sent them and your money for it. So
no, that's terrible now, absolutely terrible.
They're up to 8 days to pass on the cash. 8 days, that's just
terrible, isn't it?
That you can imagine like how many transactions and stuff go through that then for the interest they're earning. Nah, no, that don't wash, does it? That's awful. That's why people go like on the description, isn't it? Can be removed at any time, is up for sale elsewhere.
Yeah.
So.
No. As I say, eBay used to be, it's how I started, to put mine up on a 21-day listing. It was the maximum day you could do it.
Yeah.
And then I used to pay the extra bit at the top of the page, each page you went through. But in those days, it was the only one. Now, everybody used to do it. And that was the thing. You'd be on page 3 of all the pinned ones at the top. So you're no longer at the top.
It's, I don't know. Whoever dreamt that up should go and have a bit of a word with himself, to be honest. Like I say, you can't hold on to people's money when you've sold something.
No.
That's just disgusting to me. It's not on, is it? So
no.
You're well away from it, Phil.
Yes, I'm glad, clearly.
Yeah.
But again, the thing is, before you had, eBay, and that was it. But now there's all the little spring-off things coming around it, let alone going direct to AliExpress or, but you've got Etsy now and all the other bits and pieces, isn't it?
Yeah, but even if you're selling stuff, just do it through Facebook Marketplace. You can do it through that, and that's sort of free and whatever, isn't it? You do get a lot of messes on there, but I suppose it's an option. But I don't know, for what we kind of do, if there's an audience there, I wouldn't know.
No.
But yeah, I mean, there's probably other options. I'm actually surprised that there's not been another kind of eBay site.
There was a few in the early days that tried to compete, but they got just washed out.
Yeah,
you couldn't compete with eBay because everybody was just posting it up on eBay.
But the thing is, eBay's gone from what originally was kind of the auction site. Now it's just sellers, isn't it? You do get a few things, but really, like the auction bit, like when we've done an auction. Talking of that, we've got one next week, haven't we?
Yes.
Stay tuned. Flory auction is coming your way.
Got an auction coming soon.
I've sorted the goods out upstairs, so yes. It's, I say, auctions are quite fun. Even if you're going and you're not buying. Like I say, we get quite a few people watching, don't we? Even though they've got no intention of bidding, because it's nice to see what people will pay for stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised nothing else has ever cropped up in that sort of vein of a proper auction site, not the buy it now or having a business and all that sort of stuff. Unless there is one and I don't know about it. Somebody in chat's going to let me know, aren't they?
But yeah.
Well, it was, I think, it was to get rid of us as thingy and just have businesses where they can charge them a fortune for stuff.
Yeah. But there we go, you see. Different times. Things were different back in the day.
Well, no auctions aren't free. You've got to pay a fee. Well, you talk about our auctions.
At least we don't charge a buyer's fee on top. Like an auction house, Yeah. Don't forget your buyer's fee on top of 3%. Perhaps we should do that. There you go. Quick, that's a money maker. We'll start charging everybody the auction price. Don't forget, there's a 3% fee on the end.
Yeah, we was going to do that until Leslie said you can't. Do you remember when we did actually mention it, and then you can't do it, can we? It's just it don't work. Trust me, the accountant says that ain't going to work. Shame really, because it would have been quite fun, but no, not going to work. Do you reckon then you get 350 to 500 for your own on eBay?
Well, there you go. So, I will say this now because obviously it's a long time ago, but 20 years ago, that's what I used to literally get. They used to go for around about 350 to 550 on
for
eBay.
What, a second one?
For a 48th.
Well, that's 30 seconds, so that's double, isn't it?
Well, there you go. So
what would you charge for the 30-second on it there?
What you say, wouldn't it? It would just go up. So what, again, this is one of those things. You're thinking a little bit business savvy. So here's your quick tip for you. It's a bit like I used to use eBay as a window. It was literally a market window to the world, because I couldn't get that exposed anywhere else. So I used to do something quite nice, but not normally 32nd. It would only be like 48 scale, and put it out. And I would literally go £1 no reserve, and it's up on a 21-day listing. And it would be pinned at the top of the section. And he said, I never used to put them in modelling sections either. I used to put them in aviation, spare parts and stuff like that, because they're the people you want to buy it. Because why would you put it in modelling? I've never understood why people put them in modelling, because modellers are in there. They're not going to buy one. So I used to put it into because you could do they used to, I don't know if they still do, but eBay used to do a package where if you paid to be pinned at the top, you could put it in like 3 categories as well for 21 days, blah blah blah. And so I used to put it into aviation clothing. It used to go in aviation antiques and aircraft spare parts, and that's where it went. And because say you wouldn't put it anywhere near modelling or toys or anything else like that, because it's just the wrong people you're after. And then it would sit in there and it would sell, and it would probably go for around about, as you say, anything for sort of 350, 550, occasionally some more. But the idea being was I would get maybe 10 people come off of it saying, I would like it. Or what I used to do was, obviously, when the bidding had finished, I would go to all the other bidders and say, sorry, it has been off, but I do commissions. This is my price rate. This is what I can do. Pop over to the website. So they've got full details to get them over to there to see some more nice pictures and all the rest of it and videos. And that's how they go about. And out of that, you might get 1 or 2 will go for it.
Yeah.
And
you're
again,
just casting the net.
Yeah, you're casting the net. And then out of that, and then as I say, that was a thing that I'd put up. Literally, one of these is up every single month, just up £1. Occasionally, you would get one that wouldn't go particularly well, but they never would go that bad. Never had a complete failure, So, but that was the whole point. You were using it literally as a window, a shop window. You've got a fantastic audience out there and they can all see your work. And because you're pinned to the top, and the listing used to cost about a tenner back then or something else like that, 10 or 15 quid. And off you went. And it was a great way of getting to the right people. So, and then on most of it after that, it's just word of mouth. So obviously you build a nice display model, it ends up in some guy's office or something. And then somebody comes in and go, oh, that's nice. Where'd you get that? And there you go. And the next thing you know, he's got some cards, because I always used to give some cards with the models where they got sent out and all the rest of it. And they say, oh, have a chat with him. And then I'd often get an email from someone saying, oh, I've just been in and seen such and such's office, and he's got a model that you did for him, and he said to get in touch, and it just gets the conversation going. So
yeah, absolutely. It is. It's just networking, and as you call
absolutely.
It. Once you get your foot in the door, then if you're good at it, it's like any job in it, any trade. Once you sort of like say get your, I suppose, your name out there as well.
And again, it's that thing, isn't it? Is that I'm sure you were saying that with the car business as well. Is that you've got your reputation, but also your repeat customers are more like friends in the end than they are actually clients. I've always called them clients out of just being professional, but is that thing. Once you've built a few things for them or worked on a few things for them, you know them really well. They know you. They know what you're capable of, and all the rest of it. They have a little bit of trust in you, and they give you a little bit of free rein. They take your advice because they might say, "Oh, I was thinking about this, this, and this," and then I might turn around and say, "Well, you could do that because there's a kit of it there, and it's straightforward, and all the rest of it." And they're like, "Yep, go for it," and you just get that sort of feedback to them and all the rest of it. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Lancaster interiors.
Shall I get those photos I fired up earlier?
So earlier on, me and Phil had this conversation because I have started. Well, I haven't started. I'm going to carry on. But obviously, last week's conversation was I don't know what to do for the next video build. Well, I am actually made my mind up, and I am doing this.
Dun, dun, dun. Hold on, I'll put you on full screen. Look, you can show. There you go.
There you go. So it's the front end, the HK front end of the Lanc, which I did start. Was it last year I started it? Was it the Aussie one last year? It was, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So I started this last year with good intention, then run out of steam, didn't bother, whatever. So I've resurrected it as a video build because I want to try that canning technique that we've seen with the Surfacer. Plus other things as well. But anyway, we went down a rabbit hole earlier of interior colours for Lancaster. And was using, what was we using? Just Jane.
Just Jane. We were looking at Just Jane's
as a
pictures
bit of an example
from all the eras when many years ago to now when she's just being restored all up and everything else, wasn't it? And it again, it looks like the Lancaster. If you're looking at Just Jane, that's fine. But if you're looking at all the different Lancasters, some of them are interior green in some areas at the front end. Some of them are just black. Some of them are obviously got certain areas in green and some areas are in black. And it is just an absolute minefield of what areas are painted in what sections are in different colours, isn't it?
I suppose as well where they were built, whether the Canadian or built over here or what probably year. I have no idea. I'm not no aficionado by any stretch on Lancaster. It was just I thought it'd just be fun because it's been sat over there, which you can't see, but my little stash pile and bugging me because it's not going to get finished. So it was like, well, that'll do for a build. But yeah, if I'd known it's such a minefield, I'd have built another tank. Basically. Even the instructions are a bit, I won't say vague because they're not, but yeah. The one I've seen, I think from there forward.
Hold on. Where are you? There you go. Yeah.
From, like there forward. It's odd when you do it right that one. Right, it's going to be all black. And then that's probably interior green back.
So,
which I think
the
is
way
what you said.
I've seen the other one as well. You see where you got that box where you got your hand on?
That box, yeah.
That box there. From there back with that window, some of them look like they're green from that back as well.
Oh, right. So from there backwards, and then that's
green,
black.
And that's black, yeah.
Okay, that'd work.
As I say, it looks like some of them are literally that line from like the top of the canopy bit, that bit up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's green back, and then others it's sort of a bit of a mix, but a lot of the ones I was looking at this morning with you seem to be from that box back where that little window is, the wireless operator's window back.
Yeah.
Seem to be, green.
Yeah, it's a bit of a minefield though, isn't it?
Look, there you go. Look, Greg says some were originally green and then painted black by the crew. Just to make it even worse.
You're just not helping, are you? This isn't helping.
The fuse box needs to be black. So there you go. I reckon it's that window back.
I have seen Spencer's build, but I've not seen what he did for the cannon. I don't know. Mine's going to be kind of with the surfacer. That when we did the last sort of sale live show thing, there was a guy who stood up into it, doing a full one.
Yes.
I'm going to try it in an out of way because there is a lot of riveting on this, and it's very nice riveting actually. So I don't want to lose that. But I think 1200 surfacer, which is it's an old Japanese technique I've seen on an old one of them Japanese modelling programs. He did a zero or something and did it and it looked really cool.
Hold on, I'll see if I can bring up that guy's pictures on my Instagram. Hold on, if I can get to Instagram.
Yeah, you're not going to get copyright strike, are you?
No, we're on Instagram.
We're right on Instagram, sharing pictures. Mind you, I suppose it's a sharing format, isn't it?
Yes.
But actually, this as it's manageable as this front end, and the fit is actually very good.
Here it is. So this is that picture. Here it is.
Ah, there it is.
So this is the HK 30-second whole version, and the chap here, which we were talking to, did a fantastic job, and he's using this as a surfacer.
Yeah.
As I say, to do the sort of stress skin cannon effect right the way over it, and it looked absolutely fantastic.
Yes. It took him ages though, didn't it? We were doing it in little sections, weren't it? But yeah.
But yeah, he's got. Oh, hold on, we've got some more pictures here. Let me show you again. There we go. So yes, but it does look good. But again, like I said to you, I think you need to do it quite subtly. When I had a go at it, I overcooked it. Did it too heavy.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's why I'm going to practice on a bit that's kind of I can sand off again if it goes pear shape.
It goes pear shape, yeah.
Well, yeah, at least it's surfacer and it sands off easy, doesn't it? So we'll give it a go and see what happens.
What could go wrong?
Well, it could go back in the box and go back on the shelf and I've stolen something else. So that's, that's it. So
yes.
But yeah, look, there's quite interesting on our chat of saying they originally painted green, like I say, black by the crew, because apparently if it hit by a searchlight somewhere, it lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, right.
Which would make sense to actually, paint the cockpits black.
Yeah, because John as well saying, like I was, it looks like in all the photos I've seen, says the same thing. From the radio compartment onwards, it's black. So that sort of makes sense.
Yeah. Black, because, I think, like you say, I think I'll do that. I think I'll go for your theory. Because I wouldn't suppose it mattered at where the navigator and stuff was if it was still green, would it really?
No, not on the.
So obviously the front end, where the pilot is, and obviously
because obviously the wireless equipment, and all the rest of it blocks off that area anyway. So if you do it from there back, I think you'd be fine.
I have got the floor here, look. So the cockpit floor.
Yeah.
So that would make kind of sense. Hold on, let's see if I can't remember how it drops in. I did it taped up yesterday. Let's get it right way around, eh? So that's it. That drops into there. So, as one can see.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Let's just have a look. Yeah. Yeah, it's all actually pretty built. It's just a lot of painting. I'll tell you what I did get for it. I was talking to Phil as well, which is worth it. Let me just put my overhead on.
Oh yeah, show them that because that's very nice. Oh, sorry, wrong thing.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
That's it. There you go.
Let me just put my overhead on and I can show you. Bought the Yahoo instrument set. Oh, hang on. Come on, camera. I don't know what's happened there.
Is it not working? Have you froze?
I froze.
You froze. It was working earlier. You had it on. There you go. You're free.
Oh, I'm back. You're
back.
Hold on.
Satellite delay.
Oh, it's doing that thing where it won't let me switch cameras again for some reason.
Oh, we did it earlier. You just did it before we came on.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, stupid camera. Tell you what, hold on.
Have you tried turning it on?
Because I've been. Try turn it on and off. Usual thing, isn't it? It's having an issy fit. I think my camera is. Oh no, it's frozen. Look, not let me do it when I'm online with you.
Oh.
That's the first time that's ever done that. Did it before on me, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I can't show it because I can't get my overhead camera on. Anyway, I bought the Yahoo instrument panel set, and if anybody is doing a 30-second lag, you can't really see obviously the
but
detail.
They are really
honest.
Really nice.
It's different level. It's amazing. It is really nice. So that's highly recommended if you are going to tackle a 30-second lag.
So this is Spencer doing his. Has he post shaded his and thingied it to get that effect going?
Yeah, that's all paint effect. I think
that's
it's
paint
kind
effect.
of.
That's not stress skinny.
I don't think so. I don't know, to be honest. But I think he's painted it to look like a Canon effect, if that makes sense.
Right.
That 3D effect.
Yes.
Yes, look like and it works, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does definitely. Yeah.
Give me that as well.
Definitely interesting.
It does give the illusion.
It does give the illusion of it, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of masking and.
Yes.
But yeah, it does work.
Nice.
I don't want to build a full one.
That's the Dambuster one he's doing there, isn't it?
I don't know, is it?
Yeah, well, it looks like it's got the thing on the front. Oh, if I bring it back up, where are we? Oh, that one. Yeah, look, it's got the little, for the motor. And this is the little stay down the back there, because it's got the fairing on the front there. So he's obviously doing a Dambuster one.
You can build that one.
I actually, to say that you go back, last Lancaster I built, as in a large one, did the 72nd one, which was...
Rebel.
Was it the Rebel one I did? Yeah.
Video build back in
back in the day. But at the same time I was doing that, I did for one of our members the Tamiya one, and that was the Dam Buster one, I think it was. So he was a commission. He did that in an F4, I think it's a K, I think it was. Hasegawa kit.
What's that?
One of our members commissioned me to do 2. So
right.
I did in the Tamiya.
Motion detected at your
Hey,
front door.
somebody's come in.
Somebody's at the front door. But yeah, I did the Tamiya Lancaster Dam Buster, and then it was a double commission. And at the same time, it was for the F4K. For the
Right. Okay.
Oh, was it the FGR2? That one.
Yeah.
So yes,
Lovely.
must be postman. Nice
Must
early
be.
post. 3 o'clock. We had him. He was like 5:30 the other day. Like really.
Blimey.
Mm.
They're definitely up early, aren't they?
Yes.
I think, you know, because we had this conversation about, obviously, was Just Jane a wartime one, a post-war one, whatever, weren't it? And obviously the age of them now, they're all going to be Frankenstein's monsters, aren't they? Because of parts, basically, to make one.
Well, she's been completely rebuilt as well, Just Jane, isn't it? Trying to get her airworthy again, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet there's not an original one anymore, is there? So...
No. Well, it's like we were saying with models, they just couldn't be after all these years.
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But yeah, I see what, like, the interior green, and then obviously the being repainted in black does actually make sense.
Yes.
Completely. Anyway,
I think it's one of those you just have to take your punt.
Yeah. take the hit and the criticism.
Yeah, that's it.
And you don't want to be doing it like that.
I've got a reference photo here that shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Disclaimer: I know nothing about them. Well, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, not to that extent. So I'll just build it and have fun and see what becomes of it.
But no, that particular technique with the actual stress skin, that sort of cannon effect and all the rest of it, I'd love to have a go at that. You know, I'm not saying I might rush into doing it when I do my Lanc, because I'm doing the 48th one, it'd be a lot easier. But the trouble is, I went the other way and tried to do it on the B52 and couldn't get it to work, because I did it, on there, but it's too thick, it's too heavy. It looks like it's, been beaten up, so I ended up having to sand it all off and start again, and then we ended up hitting it with a Dremel instead. But
look how that nearly turned out.
Yeah, that's it. We almost cut through it. It was done so many times I was running out of plastic. So it's one of those which can get out of hand. But I think if you're going to do, like, if you're doing something like this, well, clearly on the with this one's got metal wings, but the fabric down the back wouldn't count. But you could probably do it because you've got room to do it. Each one of these panels are about 1 centimetre, so you could do it no problem at all. But when you're down into the 72nd scale stuff and even into 48 scale, it's getting very small and it's easy to overdo it. So
I think there is a limit, like you've just said.
Yeah, there's a scale limit to these things.
Yeah, definitely 72nd is a bit small, isn't it? You're going to struggle with it because you want to see it as well, don't you?
Yeah, of course you do. Yes.
So I think that 32nd adds well.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where if you've got the bigger scale, you can make a little bit more and get away with. But when you're getting down to the smaller scales, it becomes a little bit more tricky with it.
Yeah. Scale effect and everything.
Yeah, it is.
So you're going to do a demo then for a bit of weathering?
Well, I was going to. Yes, I was going to.
Well, you can carry on because I want to work while my camera's not working. So if you put yourself on full screen,
I'll go in here and
I'll be the voice from beyond.
Yeah, okay. You can do voice from beyond.
Really bugging me.
So just what I've basically done under here to bring it up to speed, you'll get this on Friday anyway, but what we've done is we gave this a filter. Now, I'm not massively into filters in a big way, but I think one of the things that I've been sort of playing with, and I think Matt will agree because he's had it happen to him, if you put a clay wash down and then an oil wash over it, something a little bit freaky happens. And it tends to work together really, really well. So I think what's happening is that the oils are being drawn to the clay because it's absorbing it, but it gives quite nice sort of dynamic. So what you can see all here is literally just an oil filter brushed over it and then left, and now it's dried back and it's gone on and it's hard. But you can probably see in here how it sort of lays and does its bit and all the rest of it. But it's not me brushing it around or doing anything, it's just on here. Same with this back here. It's just that this had a little bit of clay and then the oil comes along and just enhances it a little bit, so forth and so on. So it looks really, really nice. Then down under these ones, to be honest, this was just post with a little bit, and then down in here we did some spotting and then we mushed it around, and the same under here. And then down here is this thing where we started off with a little bit of brown in here, a little bit of the black, just to drag it out, and then obviously we semi let it go off so it was drying out. Then we sort of blended, and then we came in with a little bit of orange, which then just gives this sort of, you know, coolant leaky type thing going on down in here. But it works quite well, and again, this is one of those which I would love to say it's really difficult and it took me hours, but it's literally 5 minutes work and that's it. You know, the only thing I have got to do is obviously the wheel wells yet, they need to be weathered in and sorted out with a little bit of a wash on here. But what we're going to try and do is just a little bit sort of, it's already had a filter over this right the way through, and that's about it. So I'm just going to go around and do some little bit of highlighting and various things in here. So again, you've got various options to do this one. You could come in with little bits of grey, you could white back. So literally you could pop in here with cotton buds and just knock out the middle, then reblend them in as well. So what you can actually do is take something like this. I left my normal glasses upstairs, so I have to use my magnifiers. But you can take, you know, normal ones, and you can just buff the interiors out, you know, so you're going to be taking away a little bit of the oils onto this one as you go through. But what we'll do this one here, and we'll work our way along the wingy tip. So hold on, if we get this somewhere you can see it all. So yeah, so down in here, you get a clean back. We can just clean up just a little bit in these, and you're going to start to take these off. So this is when on this morning at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So you can just rebuff in and just slightly clean up the glass work. But we're just going to do the centres of panels. And again, you're taking it off, you're getting the sort of grime on here.
I think that's the, you know, the downside of things like that is it obviously changes the colour of your underlying paint. It acts as a filter, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the joy I like oils, because they're easy to remove. We're sort of enamel stain. Obviously, your wash,
yeah,
you can get off, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you've got a semi to gloss surface, it will just come back off anyway pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, just reactivate it. But I think that is the downside if you're using enamels.
Yeah.
They can spread and then they stain, where I think the oils, like you say, you can reactivate them. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what the science is with the clay. It just natural products, I suppose, with oil
and it works quite well.
And soil.
Just a bit of grit. But down in here, you can see now where we've rubbed this, you can see the post shading started to come back. So when we put those lighter shades in the middle now, before you couldn't see them, now you can see them sort of coming back in again. So that's quite nice. Like over here, it's still just solid. Because what happens is that filter that we put over with the oils has blended it out and taken it out totally. So it's just that thing where you can start to go around. We get another clean bit, and we could.
Do you know we're on about the as we've now called it, the Spanish style, the exaggeration?
Yeah.
They've kind of got to do that though because of the amount of weathering that's involved. Kills any contrast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you really have got to exaggerate your shadows and highlights.
Otherwise, they'll just be obliterated. You won't see them.
Yeah, exactly. You won't see it. It'll just merge into one colour again. So
yeah,
there is method behind the madness.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there we go. You see the lighter bits coming in amongst all this now, as it sort of comes through. So again, it's just that thing of like going round and just.
You're not licking that, are you?
Hey?
You weren't licking that then,
no, I'm not licking it because it's oils.
I was about to say
I've cutting back on licking oils.
Yeah, I've got my camera to it. Yay!
Oh right.
It's alright, no, you carry on. No, I'm just.
That's alright.
Just saying.
So we're just going to clean up the roundel a little bit and just round in here.
So what colour of oils are on that now?
Well, it's got a bit of everything really. It's mainly my shadow, so it's the Abtai Lung 005, is it? Smoke,
your favourite.
My favourite. See, look, I'm almost getting out of it. But I've also used a little bit of shadow brown on this one for just the underside really, to give a little bit of grime coming up. So this is just shadow brown. And then we've used for the hydraulic-y type things, I do like the faded yellow because it actually looks orange, but as you use it, it's got like yellow in it. It's more, I don't know why they call it orange because it's actually, when you've played with it, it goes yellow. So, you know, it comes out looking like these. And then once you start to play with it, it goes very yellowy. So that's what that is under here. As I say, it looks orange when you put it on, but it soon goes to this yellowy colour.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's a filter in it. I think my go-to now is sepia.
Sepia, yes.
It's kind of so, it's not black, but it's not brown.
No.
Even though it's a very, very, very dark brown, but it's a great colour. It really does complement things really nice.
Yes. So what we got here is just a little bit of black. So we're just putting it on the tips, just the tips. So we're back brushing, like a dry brush really. And we're trying to get pretty much as much off of this as possible because again, you want to bring this all up really, really slowly. You don't want to do it in one and done because otherwise you're going to have a situation where you sort of got too much on there and you're just pushing it around. So once you've got most of that off, what you can do is you can start to come back here and do some little areas. So we're just going to do a little bit here. And again, the whole point is it takes a while to build up. So don't do it. So it's all subtle.
Yeah.
So we just put down some little bits. So you just got this shading effect going in here. And here looks a little bit clean. So we're just going to put a smudge over there. And again, you can just lightly come in. We said with all of these things, it's this layering effect. You're just putting layer on top of layer. So I'll just get you up here. So we're just going to put just a hint of a shadow coming just down in here and a bit over here and a little bit just down on here. But the thing with oils, it just keeps giving, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
It's not like acrylic where it dries out and then goes bitty. It just keeps going and going.
Like if you're like me and are really crap at post shading, do it with oils like that.
Yeah.
You get the same effect to me, if not better, because of that the way it blends.
Yeah.
And it looks more natural as well, and obviously you can mix your colours up. So you really are dry brushing in a kind of way, aren't you? But
yeah, it is. But it is the gift that keeps giving, isn't it?
Yeah, it just gets caught, doesn't it, in detail and texture and stuff, and you get a really, really nice effect.
Yeah. So we're just coming along, we're just adding these in, and what we'll do is we'll blend it back again. Again, you can go over the decal.
Wonder why oils fell out of fashion.
Oh, I don't know really. As you say, it shouldn't have had, because it's always been a staple thing, you know.
Yeah. But it's so universal as a weathering tool, isn't it? It's like, why, you know, why would it not always be there?
Yeah.
I suppose because from a business point of view, a tube of oil paint goes a very, very, very long way. So you're never going to sell a lot, are you?
Well, you think, I use it all the time. And I use it pretty much for making up all of mine. And I've had this now, what, 5-6 years?
Is that the one? I didn't get that one, did I, smoke? I don't think it did smoke then.
No, that's an oldie one. But as I say, I've had it and it's still probably got a good chunk in there. It's pretty much solid back there. Used so little.
Yeah.
And it literally just keeps giving and giving and giving.
I've got the thing, you know, like a Tamiya stirrer.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't need a lot of it, you tend to waste more than you actually put on your piece of cardboard pallet. So I just scoop of it out now and let it drain, and then just use that bit, and that goes still forever, even if you've got a tiny amount.
Yeah.
It's just one of them sort of products that you need.
So there we just take just a big old brush, and it is this thing of blending. But you can use your finger. It's very much an organic type effect.
It is, yeah. Is Matt using a canopy? What do you think, Neil?
What's he say?
I said, am I going to use a canopy mask for the Lancaster? No, I'm going to sit here with a scalpel and individually cut every pane of glass out. Oh, God.
Have you got your overhead working?
Yeah.
Here he is. Right.
Can you see?
There you go. You're in.
There you go. Look. So these Yahoo that were on about. Oh, look. There you go. Look. Canopy mask.
There it is.
So half of it's going to be wasted because you have to buy a blooming full set.
Yeah.
But, there you go. Anyway, let me just...
There you go. Whoa, too much.
Wait, too much, sorry.
You no, you're fine, actually. It's all right, yeah.
Look at that.
Mm.
And obviously you've got the
Yes.
bit that goes over the top somewhere. I haven't lost that. Now I'm looking. Oh, dear. Where's that gone? Oh, no, it's here, look. Ha! And then you get... What did we say this was? The engineers...
That's the engineers panel, yeah.
Yeah, with the relays, is it, and stuff on?
Yeah.
So it's not too complicated, and it's probably what you're going to actually see when you look in the canopy. So can't beat their printing. I mean, that's bang on.
I must admit, me and Matt were talking about this morning. We were saying that, because I'm a big fan of the Yahoo, the ones, because I've used them on various builds over the last few years.
Yeah.
And the great thing about them is they look just so sharp. I still find that the Quinta ones, the Zoom ones, and everybody else is just a little bit gritty,
Yeah.
But those ones, it's just absolutely pin sharp. They are very nice, but also it's the colours. It's not just black. They have like 10 shades of blacks on the instrument panels and things like that for different areas and things. They're very, very nicely done.
I can't reckon if you're into aircraft and stuff, because they do 48th and 32nd and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
I just think they are the best. The best instrument panels you can get. I think they have done a few vehicles, but not many. But dashboards and stuff. But yeah, 100%. It's a worthy upgrade. It's one of them where you're gonna, as long as you can actually see, obviously, the instrument panel.
Yeah.
It's one of them upgrades that's probably worth getting. Obviously, if it's like a 109 and it's buried into the fuselage, then there's not a lot of point, is there? Because you're never going to see it.
I must admit, I have to be honest here. My Hurricane one, you can't see it. It's so deep in there, and it's got it in there, because this is what I've got the Yuho one in there, and you can't see it at all. But I know it's in there, and it looked nice before it went in.
Yeah, exactly. They are the Yahoo panels. Yeah, they're just nice.
Yes. But again, we were saying about, you put a nice panel in there, some seat belts and a mast set. It's all you need in kits these days.
Hey, James has just had a commission to build the Lancaster from Border Models. Good luck.
So how much are you charging for that?
Well, he can't say on here. That's like obviously between him and his client. But I just don't undercut yourself.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Oh, we got some good camera angles there, bud.
I know. Hold on, I'm trying to adjust mine. Hold on, I need my little thing up. There it is.
There you go. You can go back to your demo now and.
That's all right. I was just doing the other side, basically the same. So.
Put yourself on full screen.
No, you're okay. It's fine. We're in here.
You just see not a lot of me doing anything, I'm afraid. So I've done a bit more on the Mustang. As in seats and a bit of interior work.
Very nice.
Dashboard's a bit rudimental, but it'll do because you're not ever going to see it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've got wheels and other shiny bits, back bumper in bleach, stripping the
chromey bit off,
chrome plating off because that's rubbish, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's horrible. Did stick the engine in, and I've done the air filter, saucepan. That's all in place, and then obviously.
How come modern cars don't have air filters like that anymore?
I don't know. It's a shame. They were so easy to change.
Yeah, that's it.
That one big wing nut, weren't it? The older,
it was. It was a one wing nut in the middle, and that was it.
don't know. Yeah, now you got them horrible clips that bite your fingers.
Well, mine's a giant square thing somewhere.
Yeah, and then I've obviously started to prep the body. Here we go.
Very nice. What primer have you used?
That's just Tamiya aerosol.
Oh right, nice.
But it's silky smooth, and then I've just fingered it with a sanding pad, like a 800 sanding pad, just to get any bits off. But you get a lot of spares with this kit. I think I've said it before for different versions. And I cut them all off because obviously it's a good job we're doing the grease-blue thing. Because any spares, I've got a plastic tub.
Yeah.
And I'm chucking bits in there, and I've chucked these bits in, not looking at the instructions. I'd lost the front bumper.
Right.
And this sort of, I don't know if it's indicators or what, this other little bit that was underneath the front here.
Yeah.
I presume it's got the indicators or some dryer, I don't know, whatever it's got in it. But yeah, luckily, because I hadn't chucked the sprues away, I just cut the bits off and chucked them in this box. They're in there. I actually thought it was a rear spoiler, this bit. I don't know why. I don't know why in my head it was a boot spoiler, but yeah. So I'm going to rub that down and get that to fit so I can get some primer on, and I'm going to paint it. Paint it nice shade of red.
Right.
And now we've got the LPs back in stock. I'll probably just use like the bright red or Italian racing red or whatever it is. I don't know, because I don't know what like an original colour was for that.
Right.
I presume a bright red will do, wouldn't it? And black
Also,
sort of bottom half, just mask it off with the black bottom half. But yeah. So, yes.
Very nice.
It's getting there.
Yes.
It's one of them I can do and then put to one side. You know, when I've painted the body, I'll just leave it dry off fully and then go back to it. But yeah. So our auction.
Yes.
We're going to do it next Tuesday evening. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be back from Phil's because anybody who don't know, I'm going down to Phil's on Friday to see him for the weekend.
Yours.
For a few days, so I am officially going to be off work Monday, Tuesday next week, back in Wednesday. But there will be a post up because my car's going in for service as well on Tuesday day, so we'll have a little couple of days break, and then but we'll do it Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I've got what we auctioning. I have sorted out is upstairs. Obviously, need to the photos, get them up if anybody wants to do a pre-bid, usual thing. Andy is back in with us after his week off, so I presume if you want to message him or me, whichever, probably Andy's better, we'll get it sorted if you can't make it on Tuesday evening. But yeah, so there'll be definitely no show like this next Tuesday, but we'll be on Tuesday evening.
Yes.
For the auction.
Special auction show.
Special auction show. Before my done one for ages. It's just a PM auction as well. This one. It's not any mine or Phil's or any of the other lads. This is just PM stuff. We'll do one of our own later on, won't we?
Yes.
I bet you've got no left, haven't you?
Do you know? I literally read my mind. I was just about to say, if I had anything, my stash is tiny, absolutely tiny these days. I've even got room. That's how bad it is.
I am going to have a proper cull of mine because do you know what even Andy said about culling his? I was just,
wow.
What?
Really?
But you know what'll happen? He'll say that, and then when it comes to the crunch, he'll be like, ooh, yeah, I could build that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, watch this space. I'm going to be doing the exhausty bits and cordite marks and all the rest of it. We'll be doing that as a part of the video because I'm going to airbrush it this time. Last time we used oils, so this time we're going to go the other way and use going to do it with the airbrush. Different ways to do it, that's all.
Yeah. Do you know what we're on about, the Lancaster and Just Jane and where it is?
Yeah.
You'd have thought they would have a 30-second Lancaster built, wouldn't you?
Well,
have they got anything there? I've never been.
I've never been.
I have never been. Anybody who's been there, have they actually got any sort of models on display of Lancasters or what else have they got? Have they got anything else there at the farm?
I don't know. I
Is
think
it a
they've got
farm?
some vehicles.
Is it a farm?
It is, yeah, it's chicken farm, isn't it? Well, egg farm, isn't it? When it eggs they used to do. If it still is.
It's not a million miles from here. I feel a bit bad I've never been, but Not go for Brunswick Green, no. No, wrong sort of Mustang. I don't really like green cars either, to be honest. I hate British racing green as a colour. I always have. Just no.
Yeah, there's only a few cars that you could do in true British racing green. You know.
What, a Mini?
No, I was thinking more like the old Bentleys. Yeah, the big ones.
Bentleys, yeah, proper British racing green.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think to the Grand Prix?
Yeah, it was all right. I saw it yesterday, so yeah, it was actually quite interesting, wasn't it? You know, I think this season's a lot better. At least it's proper racing now. As you say, it's more like go-karting, the way that they zip round doing it all, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, I must admit, I did think it was all right. It was one of those where it was nice to see them actually proper fighting, and having to use things like DRS makes a difference, because before it didn't really. So, no.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. Should be an interesting season. Poor old McLaren, though, and as a McLaren household, really, we're a bit disappointed. Poor old Ricky.
Well, hey, not as disappointed as the Mercedes mob.
Well,
Imagine poor old George Russell thinking, yes, I'm going to get some wins here. I'm moving at last, you know what I mean, from back of the grid. And, he did pretty well, but
yeah,
he's not got the pace, has he, to compete with the others.
But, you know, as I say, I'm not being funny, they were like that a couple of seasons ago and then came out of nowhere and blew everyone away.
They've got the investment and the money, haven't they?
Mind you, with the price cap now, the only trouble is where they keep writing off cars, it's going to get, you know, to the point where, hold on, they're using all their budget on that, rebuilding cars.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
Mind you, their idea of a price cap and mine are probably a long way apart.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
This thing is bloody difficult to handle. Got nowhere to grab.
I think that's the thing when you get to big scale kits. You do get to that point where they're awkward.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I bet you're really struggling with the Hornet, aren't you? Because
the Hornet is just a nightmare. You can't pick it up anywhere without something going crack. So, yes. But, you know, as I say.
Yeah, you're nearly there. You can go back to 48.
Going back, yeah. Be nice to do the Eagle.
Oh, I've painted that colour, Ben, on a DB4 Zagato. I think I painted it on a just a DB4 actually, not a DB. I don't know if it a long time ago Zagato, but I know what the colour you mean. I can't think what it's called. I did spray a lot of silver birch, shall we say, for DB5s, and I wonder why. One of the best, California Sage. Now that's a nice green. I'll give you that. California Sage. Aston Martin California Sage is a lovely colour. But yeah, I can't remember what the blue was.
Flory Posh Wash is made with sustainable soil-based materials.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So like the plastic tax comes in on Saturday, isn't it? Friday?
Oh God, is it? I don't know.
That's it. Everyone's bottles of wash will go up by 20%.
I think you should put them in jars.
What, glass? Do you remember the first ones were like that? They used to be 50ml glass jars. The jars weighed more than what they did. They used to cost a fortune, and that's when postage was cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, but jars are recyclable, aren't they?
Yeah, no, we used to have 50ml glass jars.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
I've got postage tube.
Hey, I've got to say this. Okay. Remember I was showing you the empty jars?
Yeah.
From last week, weren't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I ordered some for stock. And I said, can I have a box full? As in, a box full.
Yeah. And they've sent you 6, have they?
Yes. There was obviously miscommunication of my box full and their box full, and I have 6. So there will be a delay now and them going back up for sale because I haven't got it near enough. Because I'm thinking, well, somebody just buy all 6, won't they? It's not like they're going to buy one. They're just going to buy a box of 6. So yes, I need to speak to my man again and say, what's this you've sent me? A box.
Yes.
I need a carton. Perhaps I should have said I need a carton.
Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, say a carton of, and then we'll end up with 1 million.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to check how many's in a carton.
Yeah, I will check first. But yeah, 6 is never going to cut it, is it? Let's be honest. James is doing the Trumpeter F14D with Aries aftermarket. Does it fit?
No.
Okay, there you go.
What am I doing? Stunning detail, but a nightmare to install. Yeah, I had a chat with someone from Aries many years ago, and he did point out a very good reason for it. Is that obviously it's resin, so it's got to come out of a mould. So the panels have to be quite thick to be able to get the part in and out of the mould. So in some ways, nowadays it might be all different because we're probably going back over 10 years now. But you've just got that thing where you need enough meat to be able to get it cleanly out of the mould without it breaking. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. So that's why you normally have to thin the side walls of the resin parts before putting them on. It's just that they can't produce it that thin, or couldn't produce it that thin, because they couldn't get it out of the moulds. It's as simple as that. Which actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, of course it does. But I think you've got to think of how old their moulds was. They were kind of one of the originals, weren't they? And our technology now, do you know what I mean? It's that scenario again, isn't it? Ooh,
what you clipped in.
That was a click fit.
That was a proper click fit, that was.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Look, front bumper.
Oh, there you go.
It's clicked into place. Oh.
See, it's a click kit. Snap kit.
It's not very blooming straight. Like you said, a front end.
It's pre-damaged.
Yeah, I think somebody's wrapped it. Mind you, they have got a long front on these, haven't they? So no wonder somebody's hit something.
Yeah. Anyway, James is saying about he's surprised he hasn't stamped on it yet. But the thing is, if you can't see daylight through those resin parts, you haven't gone thin enough. Do the old light trick. So what you actually do is, if you hold it up to the light, you should be able to see through it, and you're okay then.
Yeah, it's just put underneath. It's going in, but I've had to thin the cockpit floor to micron. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of times I've literally done that. My worst one, trying to get an Aries cockpit in, funny enough, in saying about very thin floor, was I used aftermarket wheel well for an F16 and the cockpit on the Suffer. And if you go back through that video, what I ended up doing was, to make both of them fit, I had to cut the floor off the Suffer. So the floor is actually the roof of the wheel well, because you couldn't get both of them in.
Yeah. Oh, the bumper's unclipped. Yeah. I mean, God, that Suffer though. How old's that? 15?
Oh, yeah. Plus. Yeah.
Year ago, was it? Something?
Yeah, it must be now. Got to be getting near there. Got to be 15 plus.
Just to let you know as well, that Phil knows, but I've got him a present that he knows about. He's going to revisit an old friend.
Yes.
Aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You're going to get reacquainted.
Yes. Me and my old friend Buster.
And somebody else as well will be able to, next Tuesday, get reacquainted with one as well if they want one. Shall we say?
Yes. Buster Mark II. Absolutely. Right. Why is this still leaking?
Are you excited?
I will do it differently. Put it this way. Now I know that kit personally. It's like I will be doing it slightly differently. Like I probably won't bother putting the freaking entire engine together, because you don't see any of it, and you have to put all the fan blades in that kit. I'll just do a disclaimer. Please see original, which is in 480 format or whatever it's in.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. If you squint,
and to get a magnifying glass out, it's a bit like, when they pixelate people on the telly. If you blur, you can still see them. You need to do that.
Yeah. It's mad though. We used to sit there watching it in awe.
Yeah.
And actually know what you were doing.
Well, that's what it is. Although, there you go, for another conversation. Obviously, talking to the Formula One, I've got it on Sky, and you get Ultra HD, right? And they say you're watching it on HD, and then they say watching Ultra HD, and you go, oh yeah, I forget I've got that. So I click it on red or whatever it is to watch it, and I can't see any difference.
All right, okay.
And I've got quite a good telly, but It does seem a little bit odd, that.
Just to thingy, because it just asked about the Chrome. No, it's not. It's going to be on its way. Obviously, I'm just waiting till I've sort of got this weekend out of the way. But it will be in for, hopefully, before Easter weekend.
Oh, is that Molotov stuff, is it?
Well, whatever it is that they're doing, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because we need a restock of real colour, because people like it.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully.
Yes.
So, yes. I think what was David saying? Never built a car. This is David's. Never built a car kit before. Had any interest in one until watching Matt's builds. Now I have a real yearning for one. I tell you what, they're a nice change of pace. You just got to plan them.
Yeah.
A little bit like I presume like aircraft. I treat them like aircraft because you have like a cockpit. You ain't got the seam lines, thankfully, but you know, like an engine is separate and interiors, and then obviously the body shell. And it's normally the ideal thing is to do the body shell first, and then just put that to one side when build the engine and the chassis, and then your interior, because obviously you don't want to be touching the body for a good few days really until it's properly hardened off. But now and again, I like doing cars. I don't mind doing them at all. I say find them quite fun. I say you haven't built one for a bit, have you?
Truck was the last thing I did.
Truck, yeah, blimey, that's a good 3 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, as we say these days, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah, blimey, yeah. Yeah, that's 2 years, yeah. Yeah, no, God, yeah, you forget, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Whew, madness.
Yes. Right. Well, that's looking pretty darn good down in there, if I do say so myself. These bits. Thing is, I'll be rinsing and repeating this, doing this on the Hornet.
Yep. At least you have some practice.
Well, yeah, this is it. To be honest, I still think it looks better on the greens, on the grey and green. It looks really smart on this thing, but as you say, the others. But it's just grey. I think.
Yeah. That's why to be honest with you, I am surprised that you are doing another grey aircraft after that.
Yeah, but as I say, there is method in the madness because I quite fancy doing the trial of trying to break it up.
Yeah. No, I can see your point.
Being mad, clearly. But
yeah.
It is that thing about, right, okay, let's see what we can achieve, break it up and make it look el naturel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just another thing. You know about the Yahoo instrument panel? Obviously, I filmed a little bit of me sanding the detail off, obviously, and they fit absolutely spot on, which you would expect. You wouldn't expect them to be over here, but they are, perfect fit.
Yes.
Which is always nice when you got aftermarket, because there used to be that, like I say, with a bit with the eerie stuff, wasn't it? You've got to work to get them anywhere near to fit. You don't really have that anymore, do you? Even with resin.
No, you should say. I think because they can make it quite thin now, they don't have that sort of problems getting them out of moulds and all of those things.
I think, was it your 190? Or was it the Mozzie? Where, the head hard stuff, when Brassing first came out and you tried it and you was quite taken aback with how well it fitted.
Yeah, that would have been the actual Mozzie, I think, wouldn't it? Because we had the Brassing engine, resin engines with all the mounts and everything, and then obviously it came with all the engine covers because they were in resin and they're incredibly thin. I mean, proper, thinner than anything you'll get in plastic.
I just thought, when you did the 190, because you did a cockpit in that was cockpit, engine.
Yeah, that was everything.
Undercarriage.
Wheel wells.
Because it was, I think, because you did a cockpit, I think it was that you said was just perfect fit. Fettling, no sanding it.
No messing around with it.
It just fitted.
Yeah. It is nice when things just drop in. You know, you get other things and you're just fighting with it forever. It's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah,
you know, then you get something like that and it just sort of pops in and you're like, oh, that was so easy. Really, really nice. Yeah, it's very therapeutic doing the old oils, especially for post shading like this. It's great.
Yeah. What's happening in chat? Question about instrument pad. Do you use any clear glue or clear paint to stimulate the glass on dials?
Yes.
Yeah. I use single pack lacquer. To be honest,
PVA
so
glue.
like, hey.
I just use PVA glue.
Oh yeah, PVA glue. I think I tell you what I haven't tried and I would like to try. I was thinking about using it actually on the Mustang, but it's so buried in the sort of dashboard that it doesn't make any difference. Is that UV glue?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The resin, pen thing that we sell. I can't think what the name is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And using that, so, but these Yahoo instrument panels have kind of got a glass effect anyway.
Yeah, they do. They don't really need it, to be honest.
No.
The only time I used it, if you go back and look at mine, I used it the last time on the Hornet because it's obviously got the thingy one, the Edard just normal colour photo etch, so it doesn't have it. But I wouldn't use it on these ones, on the Yahoo ones, because they have got a glass effect in them.
Get it built, Lady. Get it built. He's on about his Ford GT40 in his stash. You can't say I've actually been building this Mustang, to be honest. I've been fondling it, I think. Yes, we have seen about Trumpeter and this. We will talk about this tomorrow on PM show, won't we?
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly. I think they probably have. Like I say, it's kind of makes sense in a way.
I can understand people's anger with it, and I can understand why they did it. Great Wall Hobbies did it, and that, and
No, not that.
Oh right,
no,
sorry.
Not about that. No, we're on about Trumpeter and Kitty Hawk.
Oh right, yes.
No, not that bit.
Sorry.
We're not fully confirmed.
Oh right, okay.
So
yeah, oh yeah. So that rumour's been floating around for a little while now, and again, it's one of those where I sort of took it with a pinch of salt at the time because I wasn't too sure. But then, I was talking to Matt the other day about it. It did make sense if they do it under the I Love Kit brand.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine Trumpeter taking on Kitty Hawk with its faults, if that makes sense. Because Trumpeter as a brand on its own is quite well respected. Let's face it, you don't get too much rubbish out of them. I think if they're going to re-release it under I Love Kit, and do it that way, I think it should be pretty good. At least we're not going to lose out on various stuff we were looking forward to. As I said, like the new Huey, 35th scale Huey, we might see that still then, and hopefully we'll see the SU25. So
you never know, do you? We'll have to see. Because we were just on about the crossovers from Hobby Boss to Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
Kind of the SU family, and what else? There was something else we said, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the SU. Well, it is the SUs, the 22, 17s.
Yeah.
34 is it, and the 27. So
yeah,
they're not gonna. Yeah, like I say, the I Love Kit brand, but I think they want the other moulds. If I'm honest. Like I say, if they've got what you built with the Seahawks and.
Yeah, I think that's
and
really
all that sort
probably
of
what they're
stuff.
going
The helicopters are pretty good, and
yeah.
and obviously the F-35s, the Jags, if they're going to do them, the Mirage F1 is, there's a few in there. I'll actually be quite happy if the Voodoo comes back out, because I would like to tackle the chisel nose one, the Recon one. But yeah, even though it is a Kitty Hawk kit and it's an aeroplane, but I do like the voodoo.
Don't forget, Phil, that Jag has been around now for the best part of 20 years, 15, 20 years now. And it wasn't Kitty Hawks anyway.
It were mine.
It was mine, it wasn't. It was always Trumpeter's. Trumpeter had it, and the Buccaneer. And obviously the Intruder, they were all done at the same time. All three of those kits were done at the same time. We saw the Intruder at last, because that got delayed for... God, when did I start harping about it? It was only 6 years later before we actually saw it. And obviously same went for the Jag, the Buccaneer as well. So, but again, for some reason, just never made it to the light of day. We don't know why.
You don't, do you? That's the thing. We'll never know whether it's still in the bank. But again, you got to think if that's how old that is now, they're going to be well out of date.
Yeah,
absolutely, just completely out of date. So it's going to need redoing anyway, isn't it? Up to modern standards, I suppose.
Yeah.
So chances are you won't see it. I don't know.
I must admit, it was a shame because obviously with the Jag and the Buck, the Buck's big lump. But the Jag's not small either. So when it was coming along, and as I say, it was the same era as when the Intruder was first announced, and then it went quiet for about 5 years, and I didn't think we were ever going to see the light of day of that, and then it just appeared. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a shame if the molds had been scrapped, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. I know, like I say, they had the faults and they were a love-hate relationship with Kitty Hawk Kit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they did unique subjects.
Absolutely.
And that's what sold them, isn't it?
Yes.
For all the faults and all the,
And they did get a lot of flack, and I know I was guilty of it, but like I've always said, is that I can't fault them their aircraft and designs and things that they did, because, again, you think, like, we're only now seeing the F-35 come out by everybody else, roughly. And yet they had it out as one of their first ones coming out. They did the A, B, and C on the back. It was like, but who would have thought we would have seen a flying pancake and things like that?
Well, yeah, but they did the Foxbat, didn't they? Can you remember when? Because nobody was thinking, obviously ICM's, it just, Matt said that's the one you'd go for. But at the time, wow, the Foxbat in 48 scale, who'd dreamt that. Never mind, and that was SU-22s. They brought those out before we Boss. There's just loads. Like, you just go on and on Voodoos, and they did have a pretty good catalogue. To be fair, and and all the ones you've built. I know, obviously, always the Jag was the Jag your first Kitty Hawk build. It was, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you've done Little Bird, you've done obviously the other helicopter, the big one. But have you built any more of these in between? I can't remember.
I'm just trying to think now. I can't remember now.
I can't remember. But you've actually enjoyed them, even though
absolutely, yeah.
They've had problems.
Again, it's one of those things. Like I always used to say, it's a love-hate relationship with them. Love their kits. Just it's little tiny little things, like the instructions being either not printed in a lot of cases. That one where I've got it's just a sheet of numbers and there's no diagram was clever. But also, it was like the colour call-outs being missing and, just little bits and pieces like that. It was just schoolboy error, but how it never got picked up and just fixed. But like I said, it was always that thing is that with each release they would do, they were getting better. Definitely better. If you look at the early stuff to the later releases, they're fair enough. But it was that thing that they did some really, really nice stuff. Like that F5 they did was actually really nice. The 30-second one.
30-second ones, yeah.
The
The
Mirage
30-second stuff was always good.
Yeah, the Mirages, that Mirage 2000 that they did, that was a nice kit, really nice. And as I say, some of the kits you really couldn't fault very much. And like with the Seahawk, that's a beautiful kit. All the Seahawk family go together really well. The little birds, So yeah, it is. It's one of those things. It's they were just always on the cusp, but there was always just something that let them down. And again, I think in some ways they probably got a lot more of a rap than was deserved. I think sometimes you can you overlook things and that, but from a new company who came out the bat and went for it, I think they did really, really well. As you say, it's just a shame that they've gone the way they have, but. As I say, we've seen other companies come and go, and hopefully we'll see the moulds again.
Phoenix company, won't they? because obviously we're involved with that as well as Panda, which did like the arm side of it, isn't it? We'll see what happens if it is true, if the rumours are true and they are under
but again,
the Trump
Panda's
ban.
one of those companies that's come and gone. And again, Panda have this little habit of saying, "Oh, we're going to release like they did 32nd scale F22, wasn't it? And they were going to do an F35. Never saw it, but they make the waves about it. You think, oh, it's really good. But then Panda brought out loads of that nice armour, didn't they? They did all the sort of Afghan stuff, the Husky and all the Mastiff and stuff like that, didn't they? So they do bring out some really, really nice stuff. But as I say, I wouldn't want them to go. But say, hopefully we will see them back. I reckon they're going to come out under I Love Kit and we're going to do it that way, which would be fair enough.
Yeah.
We said before, it's nice because otherwise you get companies and they go. And if they went forever, you'd lose those fantastic molds. Not being funny, we're back to the old one of Wingnut Wings here. But it's such a shame. If Wingnut Wings, that's assume that obviously the Lancaster is the only one that comes along from that area. And obviously we've had the Fokker from Meng. But if that's it, and those molds then literally just go forever, that is such a shame, Well,
it's such a shame on people's wallets if they want a second-hand one, isn't it?
But again, we've seen like accurate miniature. Luckily, it's been reproduced by, other people's stuff, isn't it? Academy and things like that, and Italeri, we've seen them do it, and various things. So they've lived on very nicely, but it's a shame. It's a shame we lose companies like that.
I think it is like we were saying before, like Accurate Miniatures molds obviously are owned by Academy, aren't they? And then Academy just tool them out to Revell or Italeri or whoever wants to box them. And again, I think with the Kitty Hawk stuff, because we've seen, I mean, look at the old frog molds.
Yeah.
They never. I know
they refused to die.
Some of them got scrapped, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that was because they were in dire straits and just somebody made the wrong decision and said, "Come and take what you want," or whatever it was, wasn't it? I don't know,
Something like
whatever
that,
the ins and outs was. But kind of the frog molds have reappeared all over the place. I think they are in Russia still, are there? Some of them.
Yeah.
And like I said, they do reappear. I think the whole thing with going back to Wingnut Wings, it's a different run company, isn't it? I think so. Whether we do see them again, I don't know, but be a shame, like you said, if we never get them again. But there you go.
Again, you get certain companies, and they tend to stick with just one type of thing. So he says about like old Kitty Hawk kits coming up from Revell, but Revell in their thing have always had a tie-in with like Hasegawa, for instance. You get the reboxings coming out of that way. Say Hasegawa obviously gone in with Edard these days as well. We're doing a lot of reboxing of their stuff and things. But again, it's just sometimes if these type of companies like that with those molds coming up, if you're somebody flogging them off, for instance, you'd be looking to get rid of them all, not just one or two of.
Well, I mean, even the Matchbox molds are owned by Revell, aren't they? So you've seen the old Matchbox kits come up sporadically, like the little armour kits do, and I think some of the aircraft have been re-released at some point, not so much nowadays, but they're still around in some guys, aren't they? They are owned.
But at least, as you say, at least they do pop up every now and again, which is the nice thing. And I think that's the shame from the hobby's point of view, where, and luckily we don't see it very often, but that's assume like Wingnut Wings and Kitty Hawks, we're talking about them. We never saw those kits ever again. That would just be criminal, for that to go. Like I've often said, I know it's a big punt for these companies to take on things like that, because there's no way you could probably retool it or improve the molds, because it would just cost too much money to do it and all the rest of it. But, as I say, at least they're still available and around, even if it's some limited run company just got hold of them and did them and stuff like that. Because
you do hope if it is the Trumpeter
family
company umbrella, whoever owns them, do take them on, that they will redo the instructions so they're actually right and make sense. Because to be fair with Trumpeter instructions and Hobby Boss, they are good instructions.
Yes, absolutely. Always have been
and very easy to follow, and especially as the companies have got, more experience under the belt, later releases and stuff. I've never had any problems with either building kit. Not that I can recall anyway.
I'll tell you what, because obviously we were talking about Trumpeter last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On the show, and we were saying about it. And afterwards I did think about it. I don't, and I've built lots of, and I've seen hundreds of their kits. I don't remember them making schoolboy errors like, doing a part wrong way round. Decals, yeah, but not the plastic. The plastic's always been right. I've never known also a short shot on a trumpeter kit. I remember the early ones used to be like a goldfish bag because you had literally your sprues were swimming around in release agent. I've had that.
Ready lubed.
It was literally pre-lubed, ready to go. But I don't ever remember seeing a short shot like we've seen with Airfix, for instance, or Revell or someone else like that, where it literally just stops on the sprue and there's nothing at that end. They've always been really good, clean, crisp kits all the way through. Yeah. And really, I've never known one that's had a massive fit issue. To the point where you're like, you have to take a chunk out or you're missing a huge chunk, where other manufacturers, sometimes you're like, chop that off.
I think the worst ones for fitting is like their F50, F50, MiG-15, 17s in the Hobby Boss range, because I've built that, and I've got the MiG-19 up there, 32nd, where they've split the fuselage, showed the engine.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst design ever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because it never fitted properly anyway. You have to leave the engine out or whatever, or just put the nozzle in or something. But they did away with that pretty quick. I think that never caught on. I think they kind of got the hint that it didn't work. It's a good idea because Academy's done it, and they were their Sabres.
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah,
the F86.
Yeah, Academy did a nice.
The 32nd one. Do you remember the 32nd Sabre? You had one.
I had one. Yeah, I had the Dragon one, wasn't it? I had the Dragon on the side of it.
Yeah, but whose kit was it originally? Was it Kinetics?
It was. I don't know if it was Kinetics originally. Can't remember. It was. I had the Kinetic boxing of it, but was it Kinetics original? I don't think so.
It might have been because Italeri reboxed it.
Yeah.
And it weren't theirs.
No.
Because that had this engine and split in the middle as well, weren't it?
Yes.
I'm sure somebody in chat will tell me. I thought it was a Kinetic kit.
Perhaps it was Kinetics.
But it's never been reissued by them, has it? Get one, James. Get it. Do it.
Yeah, get it. The only trouble with that kit is just the undercarriage is a little bit of a weak job on that. But then it is on the real thing. It looks like it's about to snap.
Yeah, I can't see a lot of difference from a 32nd to the 48th one because it's just like you say.
That's why I did mine in flight. Didn't have to worry about the gear then.
Yeah.
That's interesting. James is saying on here that going on the history of their building bigger kits, this is Airfix, it will be either a different or, a Defiant, a Hurricane or a Sea Fury announced next year in 1/24 scale.
Oh. Do you know what? A Defiant would be pretty cool, but I think it's a bit limited.
Yeah, true.
It would be cool in 24th scale, a Defiant.
Yeah.
I can see a Sea Fury.
Should I put a turret on it? We'll just call it Defiant.
Yeah.
Paint it black. Say the Sea Fury would be lovely in 24th if they did the same as they're going to do to the Spitfire and obviously the Hellcat and Tempest and things. So Typhoon.
That'd be a big kit, wouldn't it? A 24th Defiant. Yeah. I just think it's a bit too niche for them to do in 24th, but I like that idea. But it would be cool.
It would be cool, but
it would. It really would.
But I've done this one now, so I'm not doing another one. I've got my little thing upstairs, you see. So what I'm going to do is get my old Dio from the Typhoon out because it'll fit on that.
Oh, is that what you're going to use? Is it?
That'll be for its final photos. It'll be sat on that, then it'll hang on the wall. But I think it'd be quite good because I've still got the Typhoon still here, which I think is now going to be on permanent loan here. I've got the Hurricane, and then if we do the Spitfire, we'll have a nice little collection then of RAF, fighter, workhorse, and strike.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that Typhoon you've got now must be a really rare kit. That version of it.
Yeah.
I think you can still get the car door one, but that's getting very rare. The Hellcat's gone, so I don't know what they're fetching second-hand prices now. Yeah, so yeah, you've got the. God, you couldn't even give them things away at one point. That bubble top one, could you? The proper.
Oh, Jesus, we see them at the shows, wouldn't it? Piled up.
God,
People
yeah,
giving
they're
them away.
like 50 quid or something.
Yeah, crazy
Just
price.
an absolute bargain, 40 pounds sometimes. Just adding it now. Like I say, you have to buy them. Yeah, 109s and 190s, but yeah, they do need redoing at some point. But somebody's down for a 190, a big 190, and I only read it the other day and I can't think who it was.
See, the Hellcat, I never ever got on board with.
No.
I just didn't.
No.
I don't understand why Airfix did it. Oh, I think I do know why they did it, but I don't know. You know, I think I know why they did it. I just don't know why I think they did it. If that makes sense. Because I just didn't see it. You know, if they'd gone straight in for like a Sea Fury or something like that, or the Spitfire back then I could have did it. But I just didn't get the Hellcat. But I'd say,
You see, if they'd have redone a P51,
yeah,
I get it. Totally get that.
yeah,
100%.
yes.
But I'm with you with it, yeah, with the Hellcat. I mean, it's a beautiful kit, isn't it?
Lovely
It's absolutely,
kit, yeah.
It's a stunning kit, but the subject matter, I don't. I mean, I think we were thinking about a Corsair,
Yeah.
the 24th Corsair, but again, would they do it? You can get a few more versions out of it, I suppose, but because you could do a Korean one, and obviously US Navy, we used them, didn't we? There's a few users of them,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that'd be big though, wouldn't it, in 24th scale?
Yeah. Very big.
And you could do a wing fold. Yeah, don't know. Interesting.
We were saying about the Wildcat the other day. The worst one is the Trumpeter one. It's their weak link of all their 24th scale ones. Their Wildcat is not nice.
So I need to cancel that one. I've got you then.
I'd cancel that one. Yeah, I've built that one. It's got a working wing fold, and because it's quite complex wing fold on that as well, because it doesn't just fold up, it goes back and all. Yeah, not good.
Just answer Mark's question because he answered before. It's on back order, Mark. As soon as we're in, we'll let you know. We're in it for Mobius kits along with Polar Lights and what's the other one? I can't think. Only come in at certain times of the year.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it is on the back order list for you, but I don't know. I've got no idea when it's coming. It just tip up at some point, I'm afraid. I bet the undercarriage is a nightmare on that Wildcat because it's not great.
No.
It's not great. I built the Tamiya one. Tamiya's is pretty sturdy, but it's not a. I wouldn't want to be landing one on a carrier.
It's got a bit of a mixed media as well. It's got raised details on it as well as recessed, and it's like all over the shop.
Yeah.
As I say, I quite fancy doing the Avenger though.
Is that an itch you need to scratch?
That's an itch. That's a cool one. That is in the bigger scales.
I'll let you do it as long as you don't wing fold it.
Yeah, I said you would definitely need to do a wing fold.
A P47 in 24th scale. Yeah, they're a bit clunky though because of them. What do century kits were they or whatever? 21st century kits or something or molds.
Yeah.
It's big in 32nd. It's bloody huge in 24th.
Let me just have a quick see with our thingy. I'll just have a look. Yes.
What are you looking for?
32nd Avenger.
No, they're in.
That's what I'm looking for actually. I've just seen they've got them in.
Which version do you want though?
Well, this is true.
I think you've got to do the tricolour one, the proper one, not a...
Yeah.
Because they did one in overall dark sea blue, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think, or a dark box
which is the TBM3, and they did the TBF 1C. The 1C is the one that's the good colour scheme, with the dark and the light blue and the whitey colour. Yeah.
Treat yourself, you deserve it.
It's £100.
You've had a tough year.
It's so far. Yes, I almost died.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it. Hillman Avenger. That's about right, Carl.
Yeah, that'd be more my type. Yeah. I'll go back and do their Corsair, but this time I'm just going to build it out of the box.
Yeah.
This be a lot easier.
Just build the Tamiya one.
Yeah, oh, just do the Tamiya one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely the way to do it. So, anyway, look at that. It's 4 o'clock.
I know, we do well.
I was going to say, isn't the time fly?
So if you enjoyed this programme, join us in, I don't know, not next week, because we're not doing it.
Join us tomorrow. It's PM
Yeah,
show
join
tomorrow.
us. Yeah.
We'll just do it as a live one in the morning.
And Thursday.
Matt's travelling down Friday.
And Saturday.
Are we doing a Saturday morning live, are we, in here?
Well, I'm down there with you. We might
This
as well.
is it.
We might be on Saturday morning.
If it's raining, we will be. If not, we're going down the beach.
Yeah, if not, I'm off down Tragos for some new sketches.
Definitely.
I think Saturday's actually going to be not the bad day. It's Sunday that's a bit showery, I think, near you.
It's
But
all right. It's all right.
that could change in the next 3
booked
days.
a Calvary for Sunday. It's fine.
That's all that matters. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Be
But,
all right. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good. Right. Okay then, guys. Well, we'll leave it right there. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon and keeping us company. And as I say, we'll be back on with you tomorrow. So it will be a recorded show. So if you've got any questions for the PM show, please post them up in the forum before 9 o'clock in the mornings. We tend to do it around about 9:30 these days. And then I'll get it edited and put up in the afternoon. And then obviously we'll be back with you on Thursday night, 7:30 live. If you want to join us then, that would be lovely. God, what are they on about in there?
It cost me a fortune in fuel to get to you, probably, but hey, it's worth it.
That's all right. If you're going back on red diesel from down these parts.
I'm going to ring the AA up. Or RAC, whichever.
Yeah, it's cheaper to join the AA than it is to actually drive it.
I'll pull a plug lead off or something.
Yeah, cut a fan belt, an old fan belt on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we will leave it right there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy modelling. Take care. We will see you all again very, very soon. See you later. Say goodbye, Matt. Bye.